Welcome to another episode of the Stitch Diaries. Now this is my first video of 2025, so it is January 2025. Now I was doing videos all the way through, well, most of December. I was doing a video daily from the 1st of December to the 25th of December. I was doing Vlogmas. Well, I am going to basically pretend that that didn't happen. I'm going to leave off from my last Stitch Diary video, which I did in November, just in case any of you just didn't get the time to watch videos daily. So if there's anything I made in between, I can kind of show you the things I made in the month of December, or basically anything I've got up to since my last Stitch Diary video, and plans and things. So there's been dressmaking, knitting, crochet, other makes and things. So I've got loads of things all around me. So wish me luck that I don't forget anything. So touching off from before, now do you remember I was saying to you I'd subscribed to Simply Crochet magazine? And I wanted to, because I really wanted this calendar that was coming with it. I didn't want to risk getting it at the shops. Well, I got my wish, as you know, and then I bought yarn to go with it, but I said that I might only get $1 out of it because there wouldn't be enough skin colour. Well, I did end up managing to order some more skin colours. However, I'm yet to have made a doll, but I have made something out of it. Now, this is my most recent Simply Crochet magazine that came. It's issue 157. But I've got a few more of these to come because I had a 6-month subscription. This may be my 3rd or 4th now, maybe. But I've unsubscribed because, do you remember I said to you I had a deal where I got some free yarn and I said it hadn't came? Well, I contacted them and they said my deal didn't include it. But I know there was 2 deals. There was a cheaper one and a more expensive one. I did the more expensive one because I thought I was getting the yarn pack with it. But yeah, apparently I wasn't getting it. So I've unsubscribed, but I will continue getting these for a little while. Maybe I'll resubscribe again, I don't know. But my freebie this time was a crochet roll. Let me see if I can see it down here. Now, I can't see it at the moment, but if I come across it in this video, I will show you the crochet roll. And it came in quite handy because this is my crochet roll that I made many years ago. It's overloaded, and because I've got all these in between sides, like I've got ones, I'll show you this. I've got a 0.5 in here, and then I've got like in between sizes like 2.25. So yeah, it's filled up, and actually I've got a load more down here if I show you. I've had to dispose of some, and I've still got these. They're disintegrating. So I had to contact the manufacturer and they gifted me some, but then they just gifted me the sizes I'd already got in these. So then I sold them so I could buy the in-between sizes, and that's what I've been doing. I've been buying my in-between sizes and things, which is great. So yeah, so that's my crochet roll. That wasn't a pattern, I just made that up because I did a lot of patchwork and quilting, so yeah, I just kind of made it up. But I think you can get them in sewing books and things if that's something you're interested in making for yourself. So yeah, I'm not going to go through this, but there is a cute penguin in here, look. It's really nice. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be making anything out of there, I don't know, because I'm really busy. I'll tell you what I've been doing, but I'm going to do some dressmaking now. So, at the start of December, when I was doing Vlogmas, which I pretended didn't happen, I was going to make something else, but then I ended up making something else. I found this pattern called the Flur pattern, and then I found it on the Fold Line website, and I bought this fabric, this tartan fabric, which I know some of you call plaid, but we were brought up in this country calling it tartan. But yeah, but I use plaid quite a bit now as well, because there's a Blythe doll, that if you wonder what a Blythe doll is, there's some here called Plaid Parade, and she's got tartan, but they're a Japanese website. So yeah, sometimes they might take their things from English or American. Like recently they did a a live doll called Donna Donut, and it was the English spelling of donut, not the American. So yeah, sometimes they might take after more American things and other times more English. Well, anyway, so I went on and made a dress. And what I ended up doing is, if you watch me in Vlogmas, you already know this, because I was in a bit of a rush and I wasn't sure if my size was going to be right. There's a lining piece and there's outer pieces. Now the outer pieces of the bodice are oversized because you do a certain amount of gathering and then gather it in. But what I ended up doing is making a dress using the lining pieces and then the skirt pieces, but I just took a wedge out of it. And here is my finished dress. It's got like a waistline like this, look. And I wore it Christmas Day. Now, my husband spotted the fabric and said, oh, I'd like a shirt in that. So I bought him a shirt pattern. I bought this one, this Mimi G, and it's the 8427. And basically, I was thinking of making it for Christmas, but then I didn't have time. So I'm going to make it for Burns Night, which is the 25th of January. And now is the 13th of January. And I'll show you how far I've got. I've measured him. And I've cut all the pattern pieces out. I cut those out yesterday. And I've just pinned them all together. So I was either going to start laying this on fabric and cutting it out, or come and do this video. So I decided to do this video because my husband is out somewhere, so I thought I'll do the video and I'll cut this out another time. But this may mean I might not get it done for Burns Night, but we'll just see, because I am working now, but I'll talk about some more life things at the end. So, well, anyway, so that is that bit of dressmaking. Now there's more dressmaking on the horizon. I've bought another pattern, but I'm not going to really talk about that one yet because I haven't bought fabric or anything. But I bought another one, and this pattern only came out in November, and it's this one by Tilly and the Buttons, and it's the Drew sweatshirt. Now there's a longer length one and a shorter length, and you can either colour block it or not colour block it. My first one I'm going to make is not going to be colour blocked. To be honest, I think this would be a really good idea to do when, say, you've done a lot of sweatshirts and you've kept all your scraps, then doing a colour blocking one with all your leftovers. So that's maybe what I'll do, have a look at all my jersey scraps are in my loft because of the renovation and things. But I've bought some fabric that was meant to be for a Billy sweatshirt, which is also by the Tilly and the Buttons. But I'm going to make this. I'm going to make a plain one in a cropped version, and I'll show you my fabric. Oh, regarding this shirt as well, my husband, we measured him, and he measured chest between 42 and 44. So I thought, oh, I'm going to go with a 44. This doesn't go to a 44, it goes to a 42. So I'm just going to make him the biggest shirt I can and hope for the best. But there's apparently 1.5 inch ease in the chest. So fingers crossed. Maybe I'll be less generous with the seam allowance maybe when I'm making it. But anyway, this is the fabric I've got to make my Drew sweatshirt. I got this directly from Tilly and the Buttons, and it's apparently to make the Billy sweatshirt. So let me check what this is, this fabric. I can't remember. I want to say loop back, but it's so fine I can't even see. Maybe it is a kind of French terry kind of weight sort of fabric, and it may be French terry, but I can't remember what it said on the listing. And it actually comes with the matching thread, which I'll only use that if I'm doing the top stitching on it. Any top stitching, I'll use that. And I've got this motif, an iron-on motif, which says something about sewing. It says, stay home and sew, which you can iron on. It's an iron-on transfer, basically, which I'll be able to wash. So that's really exciting. But it's my husband's shirt first. and that might be my next make, maybe because of the time of year. But there's other things I want to make dressmaking, but I'll just plough throughout the year on my dressmaking makes as and when. Right, another thing, sewing. Now, in my last Stitch Diary video, I showed you a doll pattern and a make that I'd made from it, and it was for this 18-inch doll, and it was a simplicity pattern, and I use a fabric from a reusable bag from the Flying Tiger. And you've already seen this, you probably saw it in Vlogmas as well if you was watching Vlogmas. Well, I went on to make more. I hadn't planned it initially, but I made more. I made some aprons for smaller dolls. I'm sure I made them for Blythe, I'm sure I did, but I definitely made them for Barbie and Ken, Buff Ken. So then it's my husband's mini and my mini, so I'll pop a photograph on the screen because I haven't got those to hand. I've been packing a lot of the Christmas things away, being the Monday the 13th of January. I've not totally de-Christmased altogether, but yeah, so I've got some more out of it. But yeah, I'd love to make some more out of there. I just want to do so much, in all honesty. It's so much I want to do, so little time. But yeah, I keep making. Basically, there isn't a day I don't do a stitch, unless maybe it's like a day trip that we've got back really late, or a holiday or something, but there's not a day that goes by that I don't do a stitch. So then, shall I go to, this is something I haven't started. I forgot to show you on Christmas Day, when I did my Christmas Day video, I think I was so excited. I won some Mayleg mice, and I've got them, well, I've got some of them on here, and yeah, that's in my video, on my Christmas Day video, if you want to have a closer look at them. But basically, I was so excited about it because I'd won this prize, and I didn't get to open it because of the delivery. The postman had threw it in my extension at the front, my craft room extension, and I'd never have found it, not until my husband started working on it again, which should probably be the spring now. But yeah, but I was so excited, I totally forgot. Well, anyway, this is the Cool Crafting Christmas surprise, and it is to make Levi the lion. Now, if you've been watching me a while, you'll know I've made many of these cool crafting animals before. I've got a whole bag of them. I got them out in a video. It might have even been, I might have put it in my Blythe Doll playlist and my Stitch Diary playlist, actually. Because yeah, I got a load of them out then, but I've showed them in many videos before. But I don't know what I'm going to be making him. I will admit, I've still got the beach donkeys from the Christmas before. I think they were the Christmas before. And I've still got the ducks to do. And I know I started cutting out the pattern pieces for the ducks. So, so yeah, I'd be really silly to start getting this out now. So yeah, so I'll just plough on. Maybe I could get another, maybe if I got 2 cool crafting animals done this year, I'd be happy. More would be good, but if I could get 2 done at the very least, that would be useful. But I don't know if it's going to be Leo, because yeah, I feel bad that I haven't made other ones. Right, oh, this is the crochet, what I was on about. I said I'd made something out of it, but I hadn't made the doll. Has the lighting gone a bit strange in here? I made 2 of them actually, but one I've gifted to somebody. Maybe I've got a photo of the other one. I made one in a lovely Norwegian 100% wool, the Arne and Carlos wool, and this one I've done in cotton. But I made the hat. It's the pixie hat in here. And I just made that, not the doll. And I made 2 of them, and I put them on Blythe dolls. So yeah, this is Chloris Country Life, authentic Blythe doll, but she's totally in things I made. I knitted the jumper. This is a Toft alpaca yarn, and the Arnie and Carlos's knitted jumper pattern, and I made these trousers. She's in her own shoes actually, her stock shoes, not her socks actually. She's got no socks on. And I knitted that headband. That headband, it was something I was kind of making up as I went along, and I didn't write it down. So I'd have to figure it out if I wanted to make one again. But I'll just pop her back up there. So yeah, that's all I've managed to achieve out of here. So hopefully I'll get some time, maybe this year. But now I'm involved in a really big knit along. So it all depends on that, which I'm going to show you as well. So things that I finished and got on with. So when I watched I had a quick look at my last stitch diary video in November, and I was doing some knitted stockings. So I'll show you the ones I made last year. These are patterns by Arnie and Carlos, and I made the bullfinch stocking. That was the Christmas in July stocking in 2023. Yeah, I keep saying last year, it was the year before, 2023. And this was their knit along in December in 2023. I think it was Around the World, or Children About Dancing Around the World, maybe it's called. Yeah, so those are those. So I had started 2 others, which you saw in my last stitch diary video. I hadn't completed them, so I ended up completing the jewel fuggler. This is the Christmas bird stocking. So that's it all complete. And this was their knit along, which they did their knit along in November this time. That's why I hadn't finished it, because I did my stitch diary in November, and this was the knit along at the time. I think they call this the Christmas bowl stocking. So I got those finished, and then between Christmas and New Year, so not even my Vlogmas people have seen this, I went on and made the bullfinch ball. So this is the stocking that I made in 2023. There was a matching ball you could do. Oh, spin it round. Ball you could do with it, but I hadn't got around to making it. So yeah, between Christmas and New Year, I just got stuck into that, and I'm really happy to have the matching ball. Again, those are all Arnie and Carlos. Now those have been hanging up in my hallway on my mirror until today. I've only just taken them down to show you, but I won't put them back up again now. They'll stay down until next Christmas. So a crafty buy I'm spotting here, and that is, I bought this wrist pincushion. I've got another one of these actually. Unfortunately, I can't see it, but I didn't really intend on putting it on my wrist. I wanted it for all my yellow pins. That's why I bought the yellow one, because I've got these little magnetic pin holders for my dressmaking and sewing and things, and I like these really little fine ones, and these are quite thick, and some of them have got a bit dull, or some of them I've used to stab my glue to loosen the glue. So I put all these yellow ones that sometimes I end up getting these in calendars and things, but I don't choose to buy them, but they do come in handy for things. Say if I've got a roll of bias binding I've made and I roll it up, I can stick a pin in it and things to keep it safe. But yeah, I got that. I think I got it from Amazon. So another thing I've done between Christmas and New Year, so I've got a photo actually. I don't know how good that photo is, but I knitted this leaf from Doll Bellage, is it? I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but I only knitted one of them, and I also knitted this little chap, this little gnome. He's lovely, isn't he? Oh, he's so cute. Now this is a pattern that I bought, well, I found it on Pinterest, and then I found it again on Etsy, and I felt a little bit safer buying on Etsy, because you do get people that are con artists using other people's pictures, so I felt a bit safer using Etsy. Now this is, but she was called Small Something Toy. I've put this on my Instagram post what the designer was called on Etsy. And these I've got like double, see mine are going front and back. They're not supposed to be like that. I made these myself. So you could use baker's twine. Because I made them so long, I ended up tying them on. So I can kind of tie it around the back as well. So just one at the front. But oh, he's so cute. And I've sewn on little beads and things. Yeah, he's really lovely. So that's something else I did between Christmas and New Year. So something my Vlogmas people haven't seen either. So, and that's my printout here, look. What does that say? Final steps. I wonder if there's an opening page. What about the... Sometimes I don't print the first page or something if it's very heavy with ink, because I could see what it was anyway. So that's the bullfinch. Oh, right. Should we do some gnomes now, maybe? Or should we do... I tell you what, I'll do the Blythe doll makes, which are really, there's not many, so please don't fear, and then we'll go to knitted gnomes. So I have been crocheting some hats. I only started last night. I say it like I've been doing it. I did it last night and I made this. And it's supposed to be for Blythe. Now I've got this Japanese crochet book. And it's this one, the Doll Coordinate book. It's all in Japanese. And I wanted to make this hat. Has it got any English words on here? Just says beret. Beret, coat and shoulder bag. Now, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to follow these patterns, being in Japanese and things. But I can read like charts and things. They are a little bit different to what I've seen, but I managed to figure it out. But I can't figure out the yarn size. But I did translate the hook size, and it said hook 4 and 5. So I looked at that in millimetre size, and then I looked at, you know, the old style sizing, but the old style sizing was coming out even bigger than 4 and 5. And I thought, oh, 5 seems a bit big, so I'll go with 4. So I use a DK weight yarn. I use this Side-R Hawthorn Tweed and a size 4 hook, and I made the hat. I didn't bother with the pom-pom. Well, the hat came out way too big. Ooh la la. You know, I couldn't wear it. I could wear it on top of my head. But basically, I've measured it. I've measured children's sizes. This would fit an 18-month to 2-year-old. Maybe I'll wait for the grandchildren. And hope berets are in fashion. So, yeah, so it's just way too big. I've even tried it on Phoebe. And it just looks like, she just needs some dreadlocks. She'd look like Bob Marley, wouldn't she? It's just way too big, isn't it? Maybe we could work with it if she wanted a slouchy hat. But I don't think she's a slouchy hat kind of girl, really, not in my opinion. So I made another one in the same yarn, but a size 3 hook, which didn't say that in the book, but I did. And look, little Heidi's wearing it. But it's still too big. You might think, oh, that looks okay. And there's plenty of room for tucking hair in and things. But if you look at the picture, that is not how it's supposed to be. And I want to figure this out, because if I want to make anything else from this book, I really could do with figuring this out on this hat first, before I try and... Because obviously this might be really tricky translating this, you see. So I want to know my efforts are worthwhile when I finish it. So just knowing the right yarn and hook size is just this basic steps, really, isn't it? So yeah, it's really unfortunate. But Heidi's wearing clothes that I made. She's a doll that I bought second, sort of used doll. and there was no information about this doll, but my friend, who's been a collector for a long time, thinks she may be a doll that even though it wasn't sold as a stock doll, she might have been one of these that got out there and then what didn't end up selling as a stock doll from many years ago. That's what she suspects. So she might be sort of authentic but not stock, should I say. So, and then another thing that I was doing, so I've basically, going back to this, I'm not going to be able to go down hook size really with this. It's going to be too bulky and hard to work with. So I've got a load of other yarns here that's a DK as well, but it looks finer. It's a silk. Maybe I'll try that. I've got a bag of yarn out of my wardrobe, and I'm going to have a look, see if I can make a beret the right size for my doll. So that's that. Now, if you watch my November Stitch Diaries and you never watch my Vlogmas, then I showed you a pile of supplies because I wanted to recreate a doll dress that was on the Junior Moon website, and I did go on and I made it. And this is it. This is a Coquette Lumiere Blythe doll, authentic Blythe doll, and I designed this little apron. I did to go over the top of it. But yes, I'll show you the photo of what the dress looked like that was getting sold. And this is my version of it. I would like to put little bows on the side like the one they were selling actually, but yeah, I'm yet to do that. And I made the head bow as well, so I'm really pleased with how that come out. That dress actually is on sale on the Junior Moon shop now, the one that you can buy. I haven't bought it. It'd be quite nice actually. Maybe I will buy it. I don't know if I'm ordering anything else. I have got a couple of orders from there, but they're not dolls, they're just things. So, but I did one in the middle of the night, so I wish I'd added to that order actually to make it worthwhile with the postage, but there you go. So this year I am involved in a year of gnomes. I wasn't going to get involved in anything serious, but I have. And I've even got the mug. All work and gnome play. Now, I ordered this from Saras Gnome, who is the author of the Gnomes of Grimblewood, and I also ordered her calendar, which she released on the 1st of January, but it still hasn't arrived. This came really quickly. I don't know if these are made around the world and then they get them to you quite quickly, but the calendar has come from Canada and I've been tracking it across America, so hopefully I'll get the calendar sometime in January, because I won't get to enjoy the January page. So I've got no, when I say I've got no calendar, I could be using this crochet calendar, couldn't I? But I haven't been. I've just kind of saw this as a pattern book. But there's January. This is very fitting actually, because I'm watching something called The Last Kingdom, and we're binge watching it at the moment. And there's Vikings in it. And it's really very good actually. You get a bit of a history lesson as well as being entertained. So anyway, so when I left you in November, I was knitting a gnome out of this book. Now I'd already done a pre-knit along. Sarah did a pre-knit along for this book, and we made this gnome. So this gnome is just basically, you can mix and match the gnomes in this here. So basically all the hats are the same width. So then when you continue, you can have different size bodies, but all the head sizes will be the same. So you can mix and match the hats. And then you, depending on the length of your gnome, you can choose the longer arms, the medium arms, the small arms. You can choose to have feet or not. Anyway, this is the gnome we knitted for the pre-knit along, which I've shown, I'm sure I've shown in a Stitch Diaries before. But I hope that I have. And so that is him. Where shall I put him? Shall I move my girls? So I put him there. Now, I was part way making another gnome in my November Stitch Diaries, but I went on and finished this one. Now, this one is in the book. Nori. This is the gnome. It's the beard pocket gnome. And I told you the story about this gnome. Well, if you look at this gnome, I put a gingerbread biscuit in the one pocket, and I put one hand in the pocket and I sewed the other hand to be putting the hand to the head. So they can either be peering or feeling distressed. Either or. So that is my version of it. And I absolutely love this gnome finished. And I hope you enjoy seeing Nori finish too. Now, somebody was asking me about, they called it my Banished Gnome. Now, I was showing you my gnomes and I was saying I couldn't find one of them, but I wasn't entirely happy with it. This is the gnome. This was a knit along that we did with Sarah on Ravelry, and we had to use a self-striping yarn and work up and down on this one, and I wasn't entirely keen on my yarn choices, but looking at it here, it does look rather fun, doesn't it? And you could choose to have if the gnome was holding the hat and things. So that's that one. I can't remember the name of that gnome. So I'll try and not show you every single gnome I've made, every Stitch Diaries, but especially if I do a gnome along this year. That was the first gnome I knitted. That was one because I wanted a copy of my son's Christmas bedding, and that's for him. He's a pattern on Ravelry, not a gnome in this book. And these were the first gnomes I knitted as Sarah's. This was a Christmas knit along in 2023, but I did it between Christmas and New Year because I hadn't found her, and I was doing Christmas stockings and things by the time I found her. So I've got those ones as well. So, well, anyway, I've got more gnome news. I am doing the Year of Gnomes, but there was a gnome in December, a gnome knit along. Now, I did show you my finished gnome during Vlogmas, but I wasn't very happy with the arms. The arms went under, this one has a cape, and the arms went under the cape, and I thought they looked a bit small. So I re-knitted them, but instead of knitting them in the colour of the body, I knitted them in the colour of the cape, and I attached them to the outside of the cape. So this gnome wasn't supposed to be like that, with the arms on the outside of the cape, but that's what I decided to do. And I didn't put the glasses on her face. I've put them so she's holding them like this. So yeah, and that's how she's come out. Now, I did make my plaits a little bit thicker than what was in the pattern, because they came out a little bit thin actually when I knitted when I made the first one. But my cape is sewn on now. It's only attached by the arms, so she can't ever take this off now. What I could snip them off, it wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm quite happy with her like that. So yeah, when I was first knitting this in December, I was thinking, gosh, this is quite, you've got to get your teeth into it, you know, and you've got a lot of things going on, you know, all this false embroidery, and it wasn't anything I was used to with the gnomes. But once you got then onto the hat, it was pretty much like what I'd done before. That's not that it was complicated or anything. It was okay, But, well, maybe it was complicated, I don't know. But it just wasn't what I was expecting from knitting a gnome. Normally you're going round and round knitting a hat, round and round knitting a body, round and round knitting arms, nose, back and forth with beards and things. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to make a whole embroidered cardigan at the very start of December. But yeah, I had lots of fun and it all came out okay in the end. So now I'm doing the Year of Gnomes and I've started the gnome for January. So you can enter competitions. Now you don't have to do a gnome every month, but to go in for the grander prize, you have to knit a gnome every month. So let's see if I can do it. I might not be able to. However, I could have worked on my gnome last night, but I ended up making 2 failed hats, which is a bit disheartening really, isn't it? It would have felt worthwhile if they'd have been okay. But this is how my gnome is looking. So I've made the knobbly bobbly colour work hat and I'm on the body. So I'm just on the straight, I've done all the increases and I think the body of this one is going to be like this one. I'm using the same colour actually. So it's going to be a bulbous body, but with a colour work hat, which I think will be really, really lovely, won't it? So this gnome is in the book, but I've gone slightly different with the body colour. So I am making the smaller gnome because that's a DK weight one. Mine is a 4-ply, like a fingering kind of weight yarn. But I'm knitting, this one is going to be like the size I've been doing. And I don't know if the small one has feet or not, but it's my choice if I give the gnome feet. Maybe I'll see how well I get on. Maybe if there's still some time to spare before January is out, maybe I'll knit some feet. But yeah, so this one is called, I think this is the one that might have a female sounding name. Natalia, I think her name is. But look, it does look like a boy, doesn't it? But yeah, I've got to make a tassel for this one. So that's a lot of fun. Oh, and when I was doing the December knit along, Nana's visit, we got a story. And basically I read the story between Christmas and New Year, but I kind of didn't get the ending. I know that Nana left her empty home to go and see her loved ones, and the loved ones left their home to go and see Nana, and they were both at different places. And I know they ended up getting together at the end, but I can't make out how they got together. Yeah, it just wasn't sinking in. Maybe I was tired when I was reading it, but yeah, I couldn't figure it out. So now for my February gnome, Sarah did a knit along last year that I didn't get involved with, and then I was really sad that I didn't because the gnome looked fabulous. The reason I didn't get involved is because it was going to be a self-striping again. Because I was so unhappy with my self-striping, I decided not to do it. Well, anyway, the gnome was absolutely gorgeous, but this gnome was bigger than these. So Sarah is coming out with this gnome again, which I didn't do because I thought I wasn't keen on my self-striping version, and basically she's doing a smaller version, so they'll match in with these. Now I looked at getting the yarn from overseas, and it was going to cost over about £29 plus delivery. And so I've managed to get this. So I've got this from overseas, but this is from Germany, and I managed to get these much cheaper. And I've overbought. This is sock yarn, Silly Socks by Hobby. But yeah, my gnome hat will be knitted in this. So for my February gnomes, that's really exciting. So I can see me getting a Stitch Diary video out to you every month this year, hopefully, because I'm going to be definitely doing makes that are not, because there was many months last year where I just was doing loads and loads of doll things, and not everybody is into dolls, and then I was trying to make a business of it and it didn't really work out. You know, it just doesn't, unfortunately. Not for me anyway. I know it does for some, but some people have got a really big following, and then they can charge what these items are worth, and it makes it viable. And I'm not in that position, so yeah, so it wasn't working out for me. However, I have a job. Right, my husband has basically, used to have his own business and he did employ me, but he stopped his business, and because I think he was working for other people for a certain amount of time, but he's got his own business again now. So he has employed me, but I am doing a lot for him this time. Before, he was kind of doing a lot for me, but I am doing a hell of a lot for him now. So I've got a lot of responsibility, and yeah, I'm his secretary. So I'm basically, you know, taking in all his leads, deciding what's got to be done with them, booking all his appointments, making sure he can get from one to the other because of their distance. I'm sending them invoices. You know, I'm doing a hell of a lot. And then he phones me going, asking me questions about things. And but it really is going to help him. So it's going to help me because he's been able to pay me a wage. And so basically all over Christmas I've been training, and basically I started this job on Monday. So I've taken on more and more responsibility as the week has gone on. So I'm a week into my job. So it's been good. Luckily I've had no one try and contact me, as far as I know, while I've been doing this video, luckily. But I was very busy this morning. And another reason this video is a good idea to do today is my youngest son has got his SATs in A-levels, his mock exam, sorry, and he hasn't got to go in today because he hasn't got an exam. So I would normally not be here at this time. I would normally be picking him up. So so this seems like a really good time to do a video, which is great. So is there anything else on a personal level before I go? So that's my youngest son. All my children are single at the moment, and I don't know if I don't really ask my eldest really. I know he's been on a few dates, but I don't know what his current. But I think he's currently single, and and basically, so this year I'm going to try and continue reading my Moomin books. This is the one I'm on, Moomin Papa. I think I've kind of read some of them the wrong order, but then I've gone back and reading at the beginning, and I've got the very first book here. Now, I've already read this one, Finn Family Moomin Troll. I've already read that one, but this is the very, very first one. But these aren't a kind of a series. These are a series that came later, and I've got all the series of those. But this is kind of like on its own. This was the first ever book, but this was an anniversary hardback edition, Moomin 80. And I've got this book, which is really nice. And I think I started reading it, so I've got like 2 on the go. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. I think I've showed everything that I wanted to show you. No doubt I'll get off here. Oh, there's one other thing. I've had another yarn dyeing kit come, but I haven't used my first kit yet, so I've got no updates on that. But other than that, that is what is going on. So thank you so much for joining me for the first episode of the Stitch Diaries of 2025. I hope there's going to be at least 11 more this year. Fingers crossed all goes to plan, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. For watching, and I'll see you next time.